everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I'm going to be sharing all of my completed pages for the month of December and what I hope to colour in January. I can't believe that another year has gone by and another 12 of these videos have gone out. I love doing them. I've got a whole playlist on my channel with all my completed pages videos, pretty much all of them, plus all of the annual videos that I do with all my completed pages for the year, which is something that I will be doing, and those videos will be out very soon after this video. So for that reason, this is why this video is a little bit early. So usually I would put my completed pages up on the 1st of the month, but I've decided to do this a little bit early and instead put the first part to all my completed pages for the year on the 1st of January instead, which is what I usually do for this time of the year. So this will probably be hopefully on the 30th or the 31st when you're seeing this. And yeah, I hope that's all right. So I don't really think I'm going to get that much more done in the next couple of days, which is why I decided to film it early, because I'm going away for New Year. We're seeing family, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, I don't imagine I will get too much done. But anything that I do colour, obviously I will share in my January completed pages. I'm still going to continue next year with doing my completed pages and what I hope to colour for the next month all in one video. That's actually worked out quite well for me this year, and it's much more efficient for me to be able to do that and still get a lengthy video out for you. So I hope that's all right. So yeah, I managed to complete 4 pages this month. The pages that you will see are also going to be in the everything that I completed in this year video, because I filmed both of those parts just before this video. So if you're seeing this first, then they will also be repeated in that one. I hope that's okay, but I just want to make sure that I show pretty much everything in that video. Aside from the whips, I think pretty much everything else will be shown in those as well. So yeah, let's get started. The first one, which I've actually just realised is not in that video, but doesn't matter, is this one. So this is The Little Book of More Calm Colouring, and this is by David Sinden and Victoria Kay. Now, I was very kindly given this as a Secret Santa present from one of my friends. She knows me really well, she knows about my channel, and yeah, I really just felt like doing something in this and colouring with markers. I think I shared a picture that I did a while ago in A Million Cute Animals, which I was just using up some mild liners that were from my old set before I got my new colours for this year for college, and I still have them, and they're almost run out, but I thought, well, I'll use them for a page in this because I just felt like doing something. So this is the one that I've done. Just a really simple wave page, and I used a neon orange gel pen as well, and yeah, I really like it. It was just something fun to do to de-stress, and there are some really good pages for that in here, and it's small as well, which is perfect. There are some really nice pages like this one for Easter as well, but it's just a great pocket-sized book, and it's one that I kept seeing in like W.H. Smith and Waterstones and places, and it's one that I think is really sweet. So I'll definitely continue using marker in here, and just when I just need to relax and do something with marker for a half hour or so, then this will be a great book to pick up. So that's that one. So next I have a small page from The Flower Year by Layla Dooley. I was really excited to get back to this book, even if it was just for a small picture. This was a buddy colour with my mum that we did the other day, and we decided, well, she picked one of the pages from the December section, so obviously with it being December, and she wanted to do something Christmassy. So there are some really nice pages in this section, but we wanted something manageable that we could colour in about an hour or so, and she picked this one. So this is the mistletoe page. I'll show you hers in a second, and this one was done with Holbein pencils. So in this book I'm pretty much just using Holbeins. I did the peacock butterfly, painted lady butterfly earlier this year with Holbein, and I've done the same thing with this, and it was so simple. I didn't want to overwhelm myself and do the wreath. I may potentially come back to that in January or February though, because the great thing about this is that it's still wintry, and I think even though it would be January or February, it might still be nice to come back to and do. in the winter season. So the colours were so simple for this. I have written them down to share on my colour combinations video, but it was 3 colours for the leaves and a couple of colours for the berries as well. And I really enjoyed doing it. It didn't take too long. I really did take my time with it though, because I just love working in this book, and it wasn't too detailed. It was something just small that I could tackle. So that is mine. I've got a bit of white gel pen on there as well. And then my mum's, I think she used pretty much the same colours that I used. And let me find it. It's right at the end. There we go. And this is how hers came out. So she did more of a blend on hers, which I really like. I think it turned out brilliantly. And she's a beginner colourist. She doesn't colour a lot. And she really enjoys it though. And I just think hers turned out really well. I really like it. And she did the same thing with me, using white gel pen for the berries. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they were the same sorts of colours. I'm glad she picked this one because I really wanted to get back to working in this book. Usually when we colour together, I'm either working on something and she will do a Rita Berman postcard. I think she's done a couple of those this year. Or she will work in this. And we hadn't finished the nameplate page, even though we'd started that a while ago and worked on it on a few separate occasions, because the butterfly did take quite a while to do. But I think she's done such a good job with this one, and hopefully we will finish it at some point. But I really like that one, and hopefully when we do get to colour together soon, she'll enjoy doing some of the ones from the different months. I know she would definitely love to do the crocuses and the hellebores probably. So yeah, definitely some scope for the next few months, hopefully if we get a chance. So that's my mum's copy. So then I have 2 Rita Berman pages which are completed. The first one is from Mein Winter Spaziergang by Rita Berman. So this is one of her seasons colouring books, and it was the only one that I had left to work in. And I'm so glad that I've got around to working in it, and I would really like to do something in January or February as well, just because, likewise with the spring book, I did a page in that in the spring this year, but I didn't get around to doing another page, which I was sad about. So I'm glad that hopefully I will manage in the next couple of months to work in this again. I think by the time I'd finished my spring page, I was moving into the summer book. So there are loads of pages in here that aren't Christmassy, so there's definitely loads to choose from. So the one I did was this one. And I coloured this with Artex pencils that I was very kindly sent from my friend Sue, and they're brilliant. I absolutely love them. I just finished it and I love it so much. Just the design of the page. It's one of those that doesn't often appear in Rita's books, where there's slightly thinner lines, slightly less going on in one of the circular pages, and I really, really like it. I started off with the background and I used pencil for that as well, and I think, I could be mistaken, but I think the Artex pencils are meant to be sort of a similar set to the Prismacolors, but slightly more budget friendly. And whilst I do think that lots of the colours are quite similar, some of the reds especially were slightly less bright, which I really liked, because I don't often use bright colours to their full potential. I usually will dull them down with other colours. But in this case, the reds that were in this set were perfect for this and for what I was going for, and I really enjoyed doing it. The poinsettia was my favourite thing to do, and I also really enjoyed adding all of these white gel pen accents to sort of look like snow or fairy dust in the background. Got some paint and shimmery things going on there as well. And for this I was just trying to keep it to quite a minimal colour palette as well, so I've really only got the red, the green, the blue, and then the brown and orange bits, which I sort of think are quite neutral, and they go together quite well. So yeah, I'm just really pleased I finally worked in this book, and usually I would stick to Black Widows or Luminance in this these books, but the Artex worked really well, and as I said, I would love to do another page in here. I'm not sure with this necessarily whether I would make it into a double page spread and make the light page match, but I mean I definitely could, because this is essentially just the primary colours really. You know, the red orangey yellow colour, the blue and the green, so it could work. There were a few pages in particular that I really liked, which I will share in what I hope to colour. And originally I was going to do one of the double spreads in the back, but I just knew I would not get round to completing them, so I decided to go for something a little bit more manageable. I think that was one I really wanted to do in this one. But yeah, I love it so much. So that was a very fun one to do. And then finally we have Meine Reise durch Europa by Rita Berman. Now this did take quite a long time, which is why I don't have quite as many pictures completed, but I was actually really pleased that I managed to finish it. 4 pages really for me is quite good going for a month. I know a couple of them didn't take me very long, but that is, you know, about the average that I'm doing at the moment. The 2 whips that I have, there's one that I'm more than halfway through with, and that has been taking quite a while. So when I share that, you'll see, you know, why it's been taking a while. But this one was the first page I completed, and it was a buddy colour with Jill and her friend. So this one was done with Faber-Castell Black Edition pencils and a few polychromos. So I really wanted to give them a go on this paper and see how they would work. I started off with the central part of the page because I thought once I've got the scene done and the wood, then there's really not too much left to do. And I really enjoyed turning the trees into Christmas trees. I wanted to keep it quite Christmassy just because there are some seasonal pages in this. I mean, I could have picked this double spread. There are some seasonal pages, but this one in particular I thought was quite autumnal, and I would change it a bit to make it more wintry. I've added lots of white gel pen. I was taking inspiration from a picture of Hansel and Gretel's house that I'd seen. I had a book that I got a long time ago, which was by Chris Colfer, and it was an illustrated book with loads of retellings of fairy tales, and there are some beautiful illustrations in that, and the Hansel and Gretel one was really lovely. So that's sort of what I was going like working from for this. And yeah, with the Christmas trees I just added in all of the lights, and I actually really liked how they turned out. I did write down the colour combination for those, because often with greens they're either too blue toned with the dark colours, or they're slightly too olive. And actually for this I feel like there's a good balance between them, and I was really pleased with how they came out. And the background did take quite a while because that was all pencil. The thing that actually took the longest was all of the trees. That did take a long time, but I love how the Faber-Castell Black Edition pencils work, and I was very grateful to be sent the bigger set, the 50 set, from Sue, because originally I had the 24 set, which actually before I had the bigger one, my mum and I really enjoyed using them when we would colour together, and they're very soft. I think when I first tried them I was surprised because they are really, really good, and they have some unusual colours as well. So these browns in particular, there are some really nice light tones, and I just loved using them. I think they worked brilliantly. So I'll definitely be using them again in this book. I think I will still, you know, stick to Black Widows and Luminance a lot in these books, but it's good to know that there are other pencils as well that work just as well. And just because I gravitate towards other sets to use, it doesn't mean that I can't try out other colours. So I really enjoyed doing this one, and I think the only thing that I found was when I was getting to all of these little objects, and well, not objects, you know what I mean, like flowers and leaves and things, just, you know, trying to keep it cohesive and not adding too many different colours and things in. So yeah, got lots of glitter. This was the Art Spirit Stardust paint, lots of paint pen, and white gel pen. So that was a very fun one. And so there are all the pages that I completed. So see, I did 4, and you'll see the 2 whips that I have in a second. When I share my pictures that I hope to colour for the following month now, I'll probably still show quite a few, but maybe not as many as I have done. And I think now we might have seen in the last couple of months, there are usually specific pages that I want to do. I don't always end up doing those pages, but I quite like showing a specific page in a book rather than just sharing a book that I want to work in. The pages that I think I showed in the winter book by Reese Berman, obviously I didn't end up doing, but I picked a different one. I did have the Meine Reise durch Europa page picked out though. And I think there was another page that, oh no, I didn't end up doing another one. I can't remember if I even shared this wreath one in that video, maybe I didn't. But sometimes I colour them, sometimes I don't, but it's nice to just give a variety of different pages. So I will be back in a second with those books and pages. So it's the next day. I didn't get a chance to finish filming yesterday, but I have my pile of books by me. As I was saying, I've got some whips to share with you and some specific pages that I hope to work in. I do have just a couple of things at the end, you know, that I might not get around to, but I will share with you anyway. So I will go ahead and share the two whips first. So the first one is Little Secrets from My Fairy House by Clara Markova. So this is her brand new book and it finally arrived, which I'm so excited about. I think I've had it for a couple of weeks now, and this whip I haven't been working on for quite that long, but I have been working on it for quite a while. So I bought this from Tony on the Facebook group, the Clara Markova Facebook group. So if you are interested in purchasing this book, you can get in contact with her. I think she also sells quite a few of Clara's other books as well. So this one, obviously I did share in my All My Completed Pages video, but this one is one that I haven't worked on since I filmed that, and I mentioned in that at the moment it's mainly just brown and grey. I will be adding lots of colour to it, but what I usually like to do with detailed pages is do the background first and then be left with all of the elements. So that's what I did for this one. I actually really enjoyed doing all the background stuff, even though it was mainly just brown and grey. I especially like how I did the rock bit here, and I will definitely be writing that colour combination down because I haven't really done them like this before. At least with this sort of colour palette, usually I go for brown or just cool grey. So I enjoyed doing that. The wood did take a long time, and the only bit I'm thinking of maybe changing a little bit is the colour that I chose for these areas. Maybe just adding a bit more shading in, because it's quite, I don't know, quite ochre-y. I wanted to try and make it match this sort of brown, but I think it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't quite match. I think I need to do something with that. But yeah, it has taken me quite a while so far, and I do imagine that the last part of this will also take quite a while, because smaller elements, although they're quicker, it's still many colours, and I think that's why it will still take quite a while. But I was really excited to do this one because it's the nameplate page. I didn't want to pick a Christmas page because I knew I wouldn't finish it before Christmas, and most of them in here are full-on Christmassy pages, which is amazing, but I just know I wouldn't get around to finishing one. So yeah, that's why I picked the nameplate page. But there are some amazing pages in here that I love, and that I'm really excited to get around to. It's nice to actually be working in a book again, because as I've said, I've mainly just been working on the postcards because they've been something that I've wanted to try and complete. So I was really excited to come to this one, and also it does have that Christmassy element to it, or the gift element with the present here, and the elves are like children coming, you know, at Christmas Day and opening their gifts. So it will be nice to still continue and continue on it over the next, what I imagine will probably be a week, definitely, maybe even a couple of weeks, and still have that Christmassy feel to it, but not full on Christmas. But I really love it, and I haven't decided yet, but whenever I used to colour pages in her other books, I would never colour the other elements on the opposing side, and I always thought that the element on the back corresponded to the previous page. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I mean, this is the nameplate and then it's here. I have no idea, but I was thinking whenever I do get around to other pages, I might just colour the elements in the same colour so that they match, if I have time and if I can be bothered to do that all the time, of course. But I love that there are lots of different ones this time, because I remember in her first books there were only a few different variations of them, and now there are lots. So yeah, really love this book, and I would definitely recommend it. I mean, they are expensive books, but you know, the quality of them is amazing, and apparently the paper has slightly changed. I really like the paper. I haven't really noticed much of a difference. I'm using Holbein's on this picture, and I have used Holbein's previously in her other books, and they've worked absolutely fine, and there's no difference with this. It's fairly smooth paper, which works great for me because I don't do loads and loads of layers, but yeah, I really like this. It's gorgeous. So that is Little Secrets from My Fairy House by Clara Markova. So the next book is Wild Mouse Yuri's Journey Sketch or Adventure Sketch. It's called a couple of different things. This was one of the books when I was doing my All My Completed Pages video where I was disheartened that I hadn't got around to any other pages in the other sections apart from the spring section. So I really wanted to get around to doing something in the winter section, because what I've sort of decided is each section will have its own colour palette. So all of the ones that I've done in the spring one have a similar colour palette to them. So this one is the one that I've started. So I'm not going to be doing the double spread because this is the advent page, which I'll save for another time. But this one is the one that I'm doing. I wanted to pick something that wasn't too detailed, and we're still leaving our tree up into early January, so I thought it would be a really nice one to do actually. So hopefully I could get it done by, you know, mid-January potentially, or earlier, depends how much time I have. But I really like how it's turning out so far. So as you can see, I've done a base with fine liner, and this is what I do for a lot of things. So I have done a couple of videos on how I use fine liners, but I've done a base of fine liner and then I go over with pencil, and it's really nice because you get that undertone of the original colour. So I'm not sure if you can see, but on these you can still sort of see where I haven't put any colour down. You can see the green of the fine liner, but it just saves a lot of time. It's really nice to do. I think it's one of, especially with smaller areas, I really like using fine liner. So I don't have too much of the tree left to go, and I'm going to base the decorations from the ones that we have on our tree. So I definitely know that we've got some red, cream and green baubles, and I'll probably make them all fairly similar just so that they're cohesive. Obviously the brown will tie in with the fir cone and things on this page, so I'm really looking forward to continuing it. And it wasn't a full-on scene, if you know what I mean. I mean, this bit is, but there are some that are very Christmassy that are massive spreads, and I knew I probably wouldn't be able to finish doing that. So I won't be showing this in the All My Completed Pages because I hadn't actually started it. But yeah, I've literally just been working on this just today, and yeah, I really like it. So I'm looking forward to continuing that, and it's lovely to be working in this book again. I'm hoping that once I've done this one, I'll probably just go back to doing the spring section, or maybe things from the other section. I mean, you know, there's nothing to say I couldn't even do more in the winter section. I love this Robin one, and that was one that I originally said I wanted to do, but I actually wanted to do one of the bigger pages. I mean, this one's a nice wintry one. It does have a Christmas party on there, but that wouldn't be a problem. So yeah, there's loads of beautiful pages. This has been one of my favourite books of 2022, and even though I've only got around 3 pages, I just love it. It's beautiful. And just for size reference for this one, because it's quite an unusual size, it's essentially the width of an A4 sheet of paper and nearly the length, but there's just a little bit here, so that I've put an A4 piece of paper behind it, and yeah, it's pretty much that size. Obviously the orientation is different, but I love this book so much. That's that one. Then I have 2 Rita Berman. Now I thought I wouldn't share Mine Rise Adech Europa because I haven't really planned a page to work on in that one. I've done quite a few pages in there very recently, so I don't imagine I will get back to that one immediately. But there are a couple that I would like to work in. So I would definitely like to work in my winter Spaziergang again, because in January or February I will still be colouring winter pages. And as I mentioned, there were a few that have definitely caught my eye, and some are wintry, some are Christmassy. So there's definitely scope to, I mean, I wouldn't do something like this because obviously that's Christmas, but then there are others that like this that are wintry. The one that I really liked, which I did mention, was this one. Now I sort of call this the wave page. Actually, I'll leave this in because then I won't forget. Yeah, it reminds me of there's one like this in all of the books. So the page that I did in the summer book with all the fruit and then going into the water, it's the same idea. And I think this would be a really nice one to do because I wouldn't have to use too many colours. And, you know, once I've got the colour palette sorted, it would be quite straightforward. I don't think I would get bored doing it because there's still lots of different snowflakes and elements to it. And I do really like it. So that could potentially be one. I just know it would take quite a long time, but that's all right. So I would definitely do blues, maybe a bit of purple in there, pink for highlights, and cream for highlights potentially. So yeah, that could be a really nice one. It would just take a while, I think. And then there are others in here that, as I said, are wintry, like this one's lovely. And some of the double spreads I don't think would take too long. I really love this one. This is a Christmassy one that I'm really looking forward to doing at some point. But I did the poinsettia picture here. So that's one of my all-time favourites and I really don't want to mess it up. So there's, yeah, loads to choose from in here. Love this one as well. That's the one that specifically caught my eye, but as I've said in other videos, I don't necessarily stick to the initial page that I pick. So we will see, but it would be nice to do all of the wave pages at some point. I definitely want to do the flower one in my Frühlingsspaziergang. So yeah, lovely book. That's, I've always thought this was for bonfire night, but I think it was intended for New Year. I guess it could be either, but I don't think I will get it done before New Year now. And also, I'm not really sure how I would tackle the fireworks. I guess I'd have to use really sharp pencils, would use fine liners. I know lots of people have used neon gel pen for this and it turns out really, really well. So yeah, loads of wonderful ones in here. Really like the ice skating boots. Skiing one's really, really cool as well. So yeah, that's that book. I definitely want to get around to it, even if it's not that wave page that I've mentioned. And then we have Meine Reise durch Asien by Rita Berman. Now, I absolutely love this book. And I did only get around to one in 2022, which I've shown quite a few times. It's the koi fish page. And because there aren't too many seasonal pages in this book, it was sort of why I was focusing on her other books instead. And waiting to come back to this until after the festive period. So I do think that there are some pages in here that would be great for nighttime scenes and still sort of wintry. And the one that caught my eye in this one was this picture, which has always been one of my favourites ever since I flipped through it, because of the black background and all of the white outlines and things for the clouds. There are some trees in here which sort of look like Christmas trees, actually. You could turn them into that, but it's just the fact that it's a nighttime scene. I feel like it would work really well for this time of the year. And you can turn any page into more of a nighttime wintry scene, I guess, but things like this I'd probably wait and save for later in the year. There are just some stunning pages. I really love this book. Or of course I might just come back to it and pick a random page and colour it and not worry too much. I mean, that would be a nice one to do. But yeah, I really love that book. So that was just an idea of a page, but might not get around to that one, we will see. So then I have a postcard from Eri's postcard book. And as I said in my completed pages video, which will be up soon after this, she's come out with a new postcard book that's got 32 different postcards. So this one has 32 postcards but 16 different designs. You get 2 of each. And there are quite a few winter ones at the back. So you've got the Christmas tree one, this one, and also this one, which I would still sort of class as winter. She's looking out at the window. I'm presuming could be a night scene. It looks really cozy. And the cat's got a cute hat on as well. But the one that I really liked was this one. And I just think that it would be lovely to do, and it wouldn't take too long. The postcards are smaller than normal size postcards. Well, the I Believe in Fairies ones by Clara Markova are sort of the exception to the normal postcard size because they are quite a bit bigger. These ones are roughly about 4 by 6 inches, which is why I really like the art portfolio that's 4 by 6 inches to hold these in. And I have coloured one already, but I really like this one, and it would be fun to do. I would definitely like to base her on a character from a book or a film. I'm not sure which one yet, but that would be quite nice just to get the colour palette for it. But I could definitely see myself doing that one, hopefully. Then we have I Believe in Fairies by Clara Markova. So this is one that I'm probably not expecting to get around to in January. We'll see. Potentially February, but then I don't want to leave it too late and not be able to finish it. It was this one that I had in mind for Valentine's Day, but also it's in the winter section. So it's one of the postcards actually in the winter section that isn't too Christmassy. I really wanted to get around to this one this year and I didn't manage to. But I guess that one isn't too Christmassy. It's got the presents and the stocking. But all the others are quite Christmassy, whereas this one's a good winter one. So that'll be a really nice one to get around to. I would need to figure out, I think with all the winter ones, how to vary them, because I am worried that they're just all going to end up being blue backgrounds, obviously with the snow as well. So I want to vary them a bit. I'm not sure whether the backdrop here is meant to be snow or wood. It looks like wood to me. So maybe I wouldn't have to do snow for that one, but the one that I did, this one, I came up with a different colour for the background, which I was pleased about, and that one actually. And this one is like different, but in the past I have done quite a few blue backgrounds, and I do like to vary the colours I'm doing, just that it's not all the same. So I have to think about that, but that'll be a nice one to do at some point. But as I said, it might not be January. We'll see. And then the final book that I have, again, is one that I might not get around to, but I want to share it just in case I do manage to get around to it anyway. And likewise for the flower year, I might get around to it, but I'm not sure I will. This is Animaux de Bois by Paul Brun. I really apologise if I'm saying that wrong. So this is a new book to me that I've only had for maybe just over a month or so. The paper is absolutely phenomenal. If you can get your hands on this book, literally for the paper alone, it is amazing. The illustrations are gorgeous, and they do actually remind me quite a lot of Layla Dooley. The thing I like about it is, yes, the lines are quite thin, but the detail and the intricacy of it being actually quite, really realistic illustrations is what I love. And there are some pages in here that aren't too detailed at all. You've got big open spaces. There are some that are of course scenes, but there are loads of lovely pages that aren't too detailed that you could start with. There are some massive double spreads, but Barbara Colour has a flip through on her channel with this book, and that's where I first saw it. I love it. And there are some winter pages. Now, to me anyway, when I was flipping through it, I don't think there's a set sort of like through the seasons thing. I could be wrong, but there definitely were some. See, this one's a snowy scene, and there definitely were some more. That one I've seen done really nicely with a wintry background. I just think it's beautiful, and again, you've got an index at the back so that you can see all of them. But yeah, I just can't wait to work in it, and even if I don't get around to it for a little while, I'm very excited to. and it would be a great one if I didn't get around to it in the winter season. There are loads of spring pages that would be wonderful. I love this one so much. So yeah, really excited about this book. New artist to me, and I believe she's coming out with a new book soon as well. I think it's like a tropical one. And it's about, I think it's the same size as a Joanna Basford book. It's very, very heavy and thick because of the paper. Yeah, it's wonderful. I love it. So that's everything that I have to share with you for what I hope to colour, and all my completed pages. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you're hoping to colour for January, and if you've had a successful year with all of your colouring pages. For me, I feel like I have. I think I did about 50 pages, which, you know, when you break it down, nearly one a week, and that hasn't always happened. Like in some months I've maybe only completed 3 pages, but yeah, that average is quite good for me. So obviously some were very simple pages and some were very detailed, so they balance themselves out. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing my pages, which is the main thing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're doing well. Feel free to leave anything down in the description. Sorry, no, not in the description, in the comments section. Everything is in my description box as usual. And I will see you all very soon in the All My Completed Pages 2-part series. Take care, everyone. Bye.